Hi, I'm Julia Gerlach with Bead and Button Magazine. A couple of weeks ago I did a blog about doing rubber band jewelry on Rainbow Loom, and I mentioned that I had figured out how to do it on a spool knitter. So to get started, these are the little rubber bands, by the way. They're very small and they come with the Rainbow Loom, but you can also usually get them separately. The very first one is a little bit different because it's got to be twisted in order to hold on. Anyways, you take one rubber band and you just wrap it around the pegs, twisting it as you go. And when you get around to the finish, you just have to go back over that first peg again. So that first peg will have 2 layers of that first rubber band on it. And then next, what you're going to do is, actually I'm going to use the same color. You just take a rubber band and stretch it around all of the pegs, and then you're going to take your hook. Most spool knitters come with some sort of a hook. In this case it's just a little steel crochet hook, and you're just going to grab the bottom loop on one of the pegs and guide it over the peg, and then you go around the circle and do that over and over. When you get to the one where you started, it has the 2 loops, so you're just going to want to make sure that you grab both of the loops and flip it over and do that again. So that is basically it. I'll show you with another one. I'm going to just stretch the rubber band around all of the pegs, and I'm just going to kind of push it down and then grab a loop and flip it off, grab and flip, grab and flip. And of course this rubber band wasn't twisted, so it's just 1 layer of loops all around. And you're just going to keep on doing that around and around and around. So when your work is as long as you want it to be, you do need to get it off the spool knitter, and you have to be careful. You don't want to just flip them off because then your rubber bands will start coming out. So there are probably different ways of doing this, but one thing I've done is just take a very short piece, like 8 inches of thin gauge wire. In this case it's 26 gauge wire, and just weave it through the very end round of loops. Rubber bands have a lot of stretch to them, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking them. It has happened on occasion, but they're pretty sturdy. Okay, so once the wire is through all of the loops, you can just remove the loops, the final round of loops, from the spool knitter. And then you have your completed piece. And like I said, this piece is about 5 inches long, and I'm just going to show you right now. It's kind of lumpy, so see, it's about 5 inches. It's a bit lumpy, and the rubber bands can get tightened up. All you have to do is just sort of stretch it. It's actually kind of cool how this happens. And it smooths out, and let's see, it's now almost it's about 6.5 inches long, so that grew quite a bit. And that's why I said it doesn't have to be as long as your final product is going to be, because it will stretch. You can add a bead in between, or in this case I added a beaded bead around the join. I just kind of snugged up the 2 ends with a piece of wire and then added the beaded bead around it.